System error. Alignment unknown.
Right. Everybody's sitting comfortably.
Yeah.
Everybody got the character sheet.
Yeah.
Everyone got their backup character sheet. You time wasters! How am I meant to do a TPK at the beginning of the game?
The tavern you're in explodes. Write a new character.
Today's session, we're going to learn how to write a character because these guys died. So, the year is 209 AD. Not after Dynasty or Anno Dono, whatever it is. Abyssal demise. And the Forgotten Realms have returned to a semi-chaotic norm that has become the everyday life of the free folk. With the Harpers and Lords Alliance's victory over the Demon Lords, the Abyssal War was brought to a decisive end, with the Demon's leader seemingly disappearing from the scene. The Core of Tyr, a powerful group of heroes that were mentioned in a pilot episode about 600 times. Sorry, that wasn't written there. A powerful group of heroes that spearheaded the attack on the Demon Lords went their separate ways after defeating Baphomet. The barbarian, Jingar Yalrad, the first time I've said that name, spent his days running his own tavern, his handmade bear maul becoming a grail for those wishing to experience the unrivaled power of barbarian destruction. Tulia Cryptgarden, the group's rogue, disappeared without a trace. Some say she went back to the Shadowglade to hone her craft further, whilst others believe that she died in the battle against Baphomet, and that the rumours were simply that, rumours. The last surviving member, Pepper Ogbuth, helped the beginning of the pioneer group that moved out into the Deserin Valley, which is a small area just northeast of Waterdeep and about a good week's travel south of Mirabar. And essentially the pioneers' main idea was to make a settlement or a group of settlements that were like a welcome break for the English listeners of our podcast, and for the American listeners, like a welcome break. I don't know where I'm going anymore. The wizard, in her waning years, created a heroes guild to help breed the next generation of adventurers, should the world ever need them again. Although, that is not where our story begins. It will start there in about 2 sessions' time, when we fit into the game that we're meant to be playing. But because D&D are really, really good at going, this starts at level 3, so you've got to do 2 games before that. That's my Chris Perkins impression out of the way, and we're getting sued. Although our story will eventually fall into the murky waters of the Deserin Valley, we return once more to Waterdeep. Completely unfazed by the events of the Abyssal War, the Lords of Waterdeep continue their work. Profiteering never rests. Sitting nervously in the corner of a small and nearly deserted tavern, we meet our first unlikely hero, Brandis Thorn, played by Master Adam Unwin. Adam, would you like to describe to the group and our thousands upon thousands of listeners what Brandis looks like?
Alright, both of you. Brandis is a half-elf, about just over 6 foot, wearing kind of fine courtier clothes. He's pretty well-to-do, not too shabby. Got a nice little cloak on him, bright like red hair with slightly greying already because of the stress of what he's doing, and he's just kind of hunched over, quietly waiting.
Lovely. So, Master Brandis, recently you have been completely swamped under by the paperwork and meetings with an influx of dignitaries from Neverwinter, the Moonshay Isles, and many other large cities. You assume it's one of these dignitaries that left a gift for you on your desk one evening, almost a month ago. A small corked vial with a note reading, "To a new lease of life, and to a life that shan't be leased." Seeing no harm and enticed by the promised vigour, you awoke the next day feeling rather sore. Scales now mark your skin, and a constant feeling of pent-up fire creeps through your veins. You try to return to work, covering your new ailment with bandages, when you overhear another courtier telling someone outside your office about dignitaries from Mirabar apparently going missing in the Deserin valleys, and the Lord of the Office has been given your name as the one responsible. Panicking, you start to try find a way out when you come across the correspondence between the Lord of the Office and an unknown brother Tenebrous asking for a vial to fix a recent mistake. And this leads us to the current situation as you sit waiting for your sole confidant and a rogue with a promise of exit to the city. The first of which enters the bar at this very moment. Hey, Kirsty Mealing, how about you tell us about your Rinwen second name I can't pronounce yet?
My, that is how you pronounce it. So you see a 6'2" sun elf waltzing in. She's got golden blonde hair and bronze skin. Her eyes are different colours. One's gold and one's silver. And she's kind of walking in a vaguely merry disposition.
Can I just ask quickly, before we go on any further, how tall is this group? So we've got 6 foot something, 6'2".
6'1".
6'1", 6'2". I know we're not there yet, but just a hint. Kyra, how tall is your character? Just out of interest.
Strangely enough, at 5'10", she's feeling pretty short.
But that'll be another thing in about 10 minutes'
I
time.
feel so sort of every gnome we ever meet. You're just like, my neck is so
there.
sore.
How are you?
We tall and sexy.
So, for you two, you, Brandis, who you've been here for about 2 or 3 pints now, for you, Rinwen, you have just entered the bar. There is a very small, dark, dreary tavern. It's by no means one of the more famous taverns, such as the Yawning Portal or the Crag's Nook, which I've just made up off the top of my head. That's how famous it is. It's a simple, hidden-out-the-way tavern in the Port District of Waterdeep. You, Ms. Rinwen, have had a long day. Arriving early at work at the local library, where your boss, oh god, I had a really cool name for him and I forgot it.
Dr. Filibuster Rhaegar.
Yes! Dr. Filibuster Rhaegar, the White Dragonborn, approached you and was quite excited, realising that he had some bad news to hand out. And unfortunately, you were let go from your job at the library this morning. As you left work for the last time, they can't see you two gesturing at each other. It's a podcast. As you left work for the last time, you have the ringing in your ears of that warning that he gave you moment after moment of you should leave the necromantic books alone. Just as you're leaving, you're approached by a small dwarven lad who just kind of forces a piece of paper into your hand and then continues running off. You read a note which asks you to meet Brandis in the... I don't have a name. You get to meet him in the Sunken Shoe. He also asks you to bring any books you can on sorcery. So, as you enter the room, you look around, you see there is a barman, kind of drow-like, almost elven figure at the bar, just cleaning what seems to be the only glass on the bar. There is not a lot in terms of atmosphere in this bar other than the constant dripping of water and the constant snoring of a dragonborn in the corner who's just sat with his glasses kind of slowly slipping backwards.
Afternoon, Morris. Oh, he's asleep. Okay. Hi.
Hi. First things first, did anyone follow you?
No. Can I just have a quick look behind me?
Make a perception check. Retcon it as well, so it'll be like, has anyone been following you if you're...
Just say, sorry, perception.
Yep.
19.
19. You... Knowing how you are with most of the city, you feel that someone was always following you, but nobody was actually following you into the bar. There's just someone walking down the road as you were coming in.
Good. That's good. That's
Why?
fine.
You okay?
Long story. We'll get that. Would you want a drink?
I'm good with the water, to be honest.
Okay. I'll just wave to the bar and be like,
Make it 4 beers.
what? Okay. Right. Yeah, just wave to the bar and be like, four, awkwardly kind of signing, like, 4 bit. Cheers. Right.
He just kind of half-assed looks at you and then goes over to one of the many taps on the bar and starts pouring.
Thank you, Basil. He's still not forgiven me, has he?
No.
No, okay.
Mainly because it's Thomas.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thanks, Basil. Right. Yeah.
So, I've got the books
Oh,
you
brilliant.
wanted.
Cheers. Thanks.
I just grabbed them out of my bag.
Okay, so how many books did you grab in the end?
I have basically grabbed, I've done a run in, run out sort of job, so
Okay.
I've just kind of grabbed a bundle of maybe 6 if I can carry them in my bag.
Make a percentile die for me. Percentile die check. So that's 2d10s. So a d100 and a d. It's a d100 being your d10 and your d10.
51.
51, lovely. You get essentially what is Sorcery for Dummies. There is a book on crochet. There is a book on draconic ancestries. There is also a book on magic through the ages. And one final book that is 50 ways to leave your gnome.
So why
I think
did you...
that's all books, yeah?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Just writing those down for no doubt at some point the other ones will come in use.
You don't not crochet.
Don't knot it or don't...
Do you need my...
Well, technically, if you don't knot it...
No! Podcast time, shut up!
Sorry.
Fuck off.
You're not in the room right now, yet. Anyway.
Sorry, you were
Do you
saying...
need my library card at all, or is this...
No, we're fine.
Are you...
I'm fine.
You,
Yes.
You okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for this. It's it's nothing really. Just need a bit of a new hobby.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You look a bit starey.
It has been an odd month. Long story short, I need to get out of this city.
Oh, okay. That's a big one.
Yeah, it's been odd. I'm just going to quietly kind of reach across and kind of show you a slightly scaly, very sore red arm. Where
Holy
dragon scales
fuck!
Okay, yeah, great. Quiet.
Could you make a perception check quickly whilst this is happening?
That is 22.
22, lovely. So as you see the arm come out, and there's essentially these golden scales that look dragon-like. It's almost like he's been spliced with a dragonborn, and then it's slowly been torn off, and there's only chunks left. A bit like a half-filleted, half-scaled fish, not filleted. And then, essentially, as you look back up at his face, you can see just a very faint line of gold underneath his eyes. There are essentially flecks in his hair, which look like there is almost glitter in his hair. It's like, now you're actually looking at him, you can notice a lot more than what is obviously there when he shows you.
What the... Sorry. What happened?
I was given a... Well, I guess I'm going to call it a gift. Somebody left, a delegate at the court left a potion for me. Didn't tell me what it was, just said it'd be great, new lease of life, everything I wanted.
So you just drank a random drink that someone just gave you?
A diplomat.
As you say that, Thomas comes over and places 4 pints in front of you.
I take 2 of them and just kind of siphon both of them into my mouth and drop them down.
Remember, you don't do booze well. This is the reason why Basil doesn't like you.
Carry on.
Sorry, that'll be 12 gold, please.
I give like just a handful, which is probably like 20.
How much gold do you have in your pocket?
I have 100.
100, okay. Mark off 20. As you hand him 20 gold. Yes, thank you. I'll be at the bar if you need me. And let's back off.
Okay, so you drank this drink, and now you're fucked.
Pretty much. And, well, Port City doesn't really like potential diseases often.
No.
And
in fact, I'm just going to, like, lean back. Should probably get you looked at.
Oh, don't worry, it has been. I've got stuff for it, because it...
When did this happen?
About a month ago. Well, about 3 weeks.
A month?
Yeah, I've been very quiet for a reason. I'm getting out because I'm also now a bit of a scapegoat for lots of things. Things haven't been going well diplomatically.
Shall
we say?
Sounds okay. I don't really know how to process this.
But apart from that, how are you?
I'm fine. So, scapegoat, what? Who's after you?
Right, long story short, some of our delegates, well, have gone a bit missing.
Gone a bit missing?
Yeah, So, they haven't reported. I haven't done anything. I honestly haven't done anything. They were meant to report back about a week ago. They haven't done. They're now officially listed as missing. I've overheard people saying how they're going to put the blame at my feet.
Why?
I mean, look at me. Easy scapegoat, solve 2 problems.
Yeah, but...
And also I've found a note which all but confirms that. Now they're going to try and...
Do you have it?
Yes, I'm just going to slide the fragment of the paper across to you, because it's half burnt.
That's right.
You have essentially a chart around the edges, piece of paper that essentially is signed off by it just says a masked lord of trade, and reads, "Dear Tenebrous, I am in need of one of your vials to deal with a recent mistake."
And that's how I referred to this.
Huh. Oh, so that's why you were worried about people following.
Make a intelligence check for me, please, Rinwen, because you, being someone who both studies magic and worked in a place that was a fount of knowledge.
That is 14.
Okay, so putting 2 and 2 together, he's suddenly got scaly stuff and has books on sorcery. You start to remember certain things of your magic training, where there was a line of sorcerers that essentially get their magic from descending from dragons, but they're born with scales, not have scales suddenly enforced upon them.
Hang on. Just had a thought. Very similar to the voice that was in my head just now.
That's all I am now.
So, I mean, do you have the vial on you?
Which one? The one that I...
Yeah, that one.
No.
What other ones have you got?
No, just... well, apart from what I used to make this not hurt, none.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah, make an insight check. And Adam, could you make a persuasion or deception roll of your choice, whichever one you're trying to...
I don't tell the truth.
Well, that's what I mean. We don't know if you're telling the truth or not.
What was it, persuasion?
Persuasion, if you're...
14.
14?
15.
15?
Fuck you.
So you get the sense that he is quite literally telling the truth.
Okay.
He's not making any of this up. He seems to have just, for a fleeting moment, made an ill decision, and it has now bit him on the ass. And he decided to get rid of the vial rather than keep it as a token of his pain that he already has. Scaly.
Just a thought. then. Have you been noticing anything else than the scales?
Little, I sneezed and accidentally set the bed on fire.
Oh! No, it can't be.
Well, I set the candle next to the bed on fire, making it. I lit a candle, is what I'm saying, and then I knocked it over in shock.
So, right, okay.
Look, I don't know. But anyway, look, I'm off, and I'm out. I'm getting out of the city. And I don't really have many people here bar you, so I'm just...
I mean, I'm free to wander.
As you are having this last kind of moment in the conversation, the door opens again, this time kind of a bit quieter than your average kind of someone just entering. It seems like someone opening the door with an intent to be quiet, and there is another figure stood at the door. Madam Punch, would you like to describe yourself for the group?
Okie dokie. So, normally she would be considered tall. I'm just going to say that. But she's pretty normal looking. Quintessentially rogue, so lots of black going on. Masses and masses of long black hair, and I'd say the only interesting thing about her looks are her golden eyes.
Golden eyes?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of colour would you say her skin is, being she's meant to be a human, if I remember rightly, isn't she? Yeah. So what sort of colour skin is this human, as we're in a world of multicultural fun?
Very pale.
Very pale.
Very, very pale.
And are you wearing your mask?
No.
Okay, just checking, because,
she's got her hood up.
Okay, hood up.
Yeah, there we go.
Golden eyes kind of creeping out of from underneath, lots of black hair, essentially looking like a very terrifying witch.
Do we notice that?
This sneaky person's just turned up to quite a chill empty tavern, fully in black with a hood. I wonder if they could be anything of relevance.
So, for you, yes, you both see the door open as you're kind of like, there's not a lot in the room to kind of distract you from, other than Morris's snoring.
Cool.
You both see this, and for you, Punch, you see the half-elven delegate that you had a brief conversation with a couple of days ago, and what you assume to be his confidant that he'd asked to bring along with him.
Can I smoothly and coolly walk up to them?
So I imagine you go on a smoothie roll up and you roll a 1, you trip over a chair and slam your face into the table.
It could have like 5 times.
Every step she falls. So you are smoothly and coolly stepping to
both of them and step slightly too close to Brandis, lean over and go, "Are you ready?"
Cool. So you see this roguish figure just saunter over the space, very kind of nonchalantly. Looks like she might be either limping or trying to swagger. But leans right up into next to Brandis and just you hear her ask, "Are you ready?"
I'm sorry. We are in the middle of a thing here. If you could just go to the bar and have a good time away from us right now.
I look at her and I look back at Brandis. I'm like, "Is this your acquaintance?"
Yep. If you want to leave and go, as you say, for a walk, we need Punch.
Please don't say my name like that.
Sorry.
That's your name.
I didn't choose it.
It's a lovely name. Sorry, I didn't realise you two.
Your name is?
It's Rinwen. Probably shouldn't say that out loud if we're people are following us, really, should we?
I remember that name.
Sorry.
As we've had the other two have their little introductions, we might as well have the third, shall we? So for Punch, it has also been a long day. after being approached by Brandis, at the time not knowing him, who just slides a couple of papers over to you whilst you're sat at the tavern, just trying to enjoy a night off, showing you essentially evidence of certain crimes you've committed as a quite notorious rogue in the Waterdeep area. He essentially approaches you for assistance leaving the city unnoticed, knowing that you as a rogue who is connected with the Thieves Guilds would know a way out of the city which would not be in plain sight. He also mentions that he might have a comrade or a companion that he would need to have leaving with him, but that would be sorted on the day. You would receive payment as of leaving the city, was the original comment that he made. However, your conversation led to different things, which I will let you two hash out. However, your day has been spent basically, unknown to these two, placing random faked death certificates in different offices and venues of inquiry to say that one Punch the Rogue is dead.
I've got great handwriting, guys.
And we come back to you three.
Simply put, if you went out quickly and easily, she's the best person to do it. And I know that with your hobby, that might be easier for you.
What's wrong with my hobby? Okay, yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Before we go on, what is her hobby and why would she need to leave?
I'm just fascinated by the anatomy of many creatures. Really?
Is she safe to be around?
She is.
Oh, yeah,
You're
fine.
alive.
She touches me.
No, she won't. As I said, you're alive. She's not interested in those.
Okay.
I think we should just point out quickly, because of the joke earlier of no sex scenes in this. No, Rinwen is not into that sort of dead people.
Yet.
Well, that's the setup for the next season. Anyway.
She likes to do the necromancy.
I get my my taxidermy toad out of my pocket and just kind of like squish it for comfort a little bit because I feel awkward.
That has always been freaky, and it's probably the reason why you never held down a good job.
Hey, they just didn't. We didn't see eye to eye.
Look, look.
She makes me feel slightly ill.
That's half the fun. I'd get out. She'd like to get out.
Okay. Is our agreement still standing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certain files be destroyed.
Thank you. And
I mean, I still have a job, so yeah, it's fine.
so you're not coming then?
No, I am.
Oh.
I'm just I have a job that I'm voluntarily leaving for you, buddy. And this, just
Make
kind of
a
punch you on the shoulder.
deception check with disadvantage with that despicable display. Go on.
That is a 9.
A 9. Both of you just make insight checks just to see if you pick up what the hell's going on here.
Roll one.
That
Wasn't
makes
far off.
19.
19.
Perception, did you say?
Insight.
Oh, insight, sorry. Oh, Christ. Where's it gone? Oh, not much better. 1, but unnatural.
So you don't know if she's just a really weird person who seems to talk in this weird kind of like animated, kind of theatrical way. You know that this is a sign that someone just got fired again.
How many necromancy books did you take?
None.
How many necromancy books did you take?
I put them back. And then got one again. But it's
We're
just
fine to go. There's nothing holding us back here.
Sorry, Brandis. I tried.
I mean, you lasted longer than you did the bakery
I
and
did,
the nursery
yeah.
and the old person's home.
Well, that wasn't going to work. Anyway, let's focus on you again.
When are we going?
We can go right now, but I am saying this one thing, I'm adding something else to our agreement. You look after her.
I don't need looking after
I think
all
you
of
might
the
do.
time.
I'm changing
Just-
the deal. Pray I do not change it further. Okay, fine.
I
but
will not be responsible for her or her.
It's weird that Man Down
Interests.
starts playing at this point.
She doesn't need looking after.
Thank you.
Okay, she does a bit.
No,
but
it's Brandis.
At this point,
I just quickly slide one of the beers across to Punch and take one myself and be like,
I take it back from you, Brandis.
oh, it's right. Oh.
At this point, Thomas comes back over to the table. Hello, Punch. Is it that time of the month again? I'm sure I paid, like, last week.
Sorry.
Basil?
Thomas,
Yes.
why are you looking up? You're the tall one here.
Yeah, no, I'm sat down.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What?
She and her companions make sure that our tavern is protected for a small fee. Luckily, there have not been many of the stock breakers in this part of town.
Oh, is that so? I get out all of the paperwork about Punch and just like scribble on extortion and then pop it back in the bag.
That's getting destroyed.
Oh yeah, I'm very look.
and
Once we're out of
can I
Waterdeep safely.
lean towards Thomas.
Yep.
Slide across 5 gold coins.
Okay.
I wasn't here. Okay? You did not see me. You will not tell anyone that this happened.
See, Morris is snoring loud again. Better go check on him. Just walks off.
Thank you.
He's not dead yet.
No, he's snoring.
He is very old.
No.
No. Okay, fine. Right. So,
Are you ready? If you're coming.
yes. Obviously.
Do you need to get anything?
No. I've got everything.
They really didn't pay you very well,
No,
did
they
they?
didn't. I don't need much. I've got squibs. I've got squibs.
Just realised who Squibs is.
Right, okay.
Fucking hell.
As I said, you're looking after her.
That's fine.
And we can negotiate bodyguard payments when we get out on the road.
When we get out of Waterdeep safely was the agreement. Let's go.
Yep. Let's
Cool.
go.
So you essentially, knowing that this tavern also has a exit through the basement. Yes, sorry.
Can I quickly go up to the bar and be like, just one more and pop it all in the court tab?
Yes.
Sweet, yeah.
You go over, you just get one more for the road, and Thomas just slides it down the bar. He goes, pop it on the court tab, all sorted.
I go over, put it on the library tab.
Make a deception check.
That is 14.
14. He just, I didn't know they had one. I'll start one now. Starts scribbling into his notepad. Slides another one down to the bar.
Thank you.
So, for you, Punch, you
Sick.
you seeing these two just go off to the bar, just shake your head, walk over to Morris and stick your fingers directly into his nostrils. Where he's like, Jesus Christ! Sorry! Punch, you want to use the southern exit again? Okay.
Yep.
This way. How many are we taking today?
3.
3.
You didn't see us.
Okay. Nods as good as a wink to a blind manticore.
Or hear us.
I don't know what can't hear. I haven't been studying the bestiary in a while. Sorry. And starts walking down
Good enough.
to her. Goes around the corner of this like kind of walled area and goes down the stairs into the stock room. As you two follow Punch, who just kind of walks very kind of, this is all normal, there's nothing a bit weird of 4 of you going down into the stock room. He walks up to one of the barrels and starts knocking it with his walking stick. Goes to the next one, knocks it. Goes to the next one, knocks it. Gets to the door next to the barrels. And there we go, that's the one you need. Fantastic. Remember, always a friend at the Sunken Shoe. Opens the door and gestures for you to step through.
Nice knowing you, Morris. I walk straight on through.
Bye, Punch.
Thank you. And I just kind of awkwardly curtsy and then look at Brandis to make sure I've done it right.
Kind of like a cheers, but before we go any further, are you okay with this?
Yes.
Can I poke my head out and be like, are we going?
Yep. So you literally just kind of stick out the side like a small little hand puppet.
Yes, we
Starting
are
now.
going. I am fine with this. I'm more concerned about you. And a bit her, but mainly you.
Good. Fine. Okay.
So,
Goodbye, Morris, you sleepy dragonborn.
come back and see my band later. Okay. Bye. And you walk down, and that's Dave Morris's NPC plugged for the day. I love you, Morris. Anyway, wasn't expecting that one. I don't know what that happened. Anyway, so you start following down into a further stairwell, which leads down kind of in a spiraling fashion down into the sewer system underneath the tavern, which essentially is going along the side of the kind of river, or essentially the tributary that comes through Waterdeep into the mouth of the sea. So it's kind of, there's a genuine kind of like drip every few feet that comes through the wall to your left as you're walking down this corridor.
Look, I know they're trying to kill me, but this definitely doesn't match up with the code of the court. It's not built properly, and that leaking is a definite health hazard.
Don't think it's going to be an issue when we're on the side of the wall.
All I'm saying is it needs looking at by someone.
Brandis, you're being boring again.
The one that... Yes, thank you.
No problem.
First time I like you today.
We've just met. This is... Please don't give me updates. I would rather just not know.
I like people to know where they stand.
In a sewer that's not up to code.
Yes, okay, boring.
But true.
As someone who is wondering about the code, you would know that this is a closed down section of the sewer system. It seems that the Thieves Guild have been making use of things that have been left untouched for a while. You do notice every now and then as you walk down this first corridor that there are sconces every now and then that are constantly lit, and that there is patching in certain areas where someone has kind of fixed the stonework and the woodwork holding up the tunnel.
They've been busy.
Yes, we have. Now, come on. You need to get out. I can't hang around.
So, you travel for the next about half an hour, taking certain lefts and rights. Every now and then, Punch will stop and just look down at a corner next to the turning of a T-section or anything like that, and you'll notice that all of you notice there's these kind of like weird little scratches with circles and an arrow coming out of it. 3 dashes. There's one which is like 2 dashes with a cross, a kind of a slash through the two, the equal sign almost. Essentially, every now and then we'll notice one seems to be the one that she follows more than any of the others. You come to a kind of underground tunnel, underground river area, which is less the sewer system, more kind of like a natural kind of cavernous area, where there's a small brook running down the middle, almost like a Skyrim tutorial area. Well, you see a bear? No. Crouch. Take the cabbage from the cart and keep going and sneak past. Oh, the bear always wakes up. Anyway. So, you.
Kira's like, what? What is this game?
I can appreciate the bear and a cabbage.
So, you get into this small area where there's essentially a bit more lichen and moss. There seems to be like a bit of an open area with one entrance on the other side, about 40 feet away from you, 40 feet away from you. Anything that you'd like to do whilst you're in the cavern area?
I'm just gonna like watch what Punch is doing and just lean over to Brandis and go, "Where did you find this woman?"
Can I scan for foes?
You can indeed. Make a perception check whilst you're doing this.
In a rather thick criminal record dossier.
That is kind of fun.
It's very fun.
It's really fun.
Oh,
I like it when you're fun.
8.
8.
Yep.
So you guys
I
are
am
coming.
distracted today.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So, you coming into the area, you start to scan the area for any kind of sign of life or anything like that. You know that these areas are normally inhabited by vermin and other things. You can't seem to spot anything, but you do notice that there is a small kind of nest area in the centre of the room. Because I haven't described this properly. No, I did the scouting thing. It's kind of like a cavernous area, yeah. It's got a brook going into the wall that seems to go into an underground area that you can't seem to follow. And there is the entrance without a bearing. But that corner there where there's like an alcove, that would be where the bear is. And that would be the little bit you have to walk up.
Alcove.
Cabbage would be about there.
Yeah. It's almost like I've copied this straight from a game. Anyway, so you guys enter there.
So yeah, I found her through, well, paperwork.
Wait, isn't that against code?
No. Shut up. Yes.
Good
okay,
idea.
really is, yes. But
Brandis did the naughty.
at the same time,
Hey,
they are trying to kill me.
Hey! That's fair. What?
Shh.
Well, that's just rude.
Tree though.
As you hear the shush echo through the chamber, you hear the skittering of small feet as well.
Fuck. Shit. Shh.
I would like you all to roll initiative. Thank you for listening to the Alignment Unknown podcast. The players were Adam Unwin as Brandis Thorn, Kirsty Mealing as Rinwen Thaslananel, and Kyra Leigh as Punch. DM'd by Steve Archer. All music was performed by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 licensing. For more information on this, go to creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0. All of these links can be found in the description of the episode. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.